Hi guys, how is it going? I hope everyone is doing all right whenever you tune in and see this. So this is going to be it's really bright, sorry. A general reading for both Gemini and Taurus. So we're going to start with Gemini first and then later get into Taurus. We'll do some shuffling in between and all that good stuff. So I just wanted to go over a couple things real quickly before we get started. So yes, everyone is welcome. Cross watchers, you can be a sun sign Gemini, a rising Gemini, have your moon in Gemini, or have Gemini anywhere in your chart to still be able to hopefully find messages here for you. As we all have all 12 zodiac signs throughout each individual of our birth charts. So if you haven't gotten one already, just free online, I always encourage everyone to do that. Even if you don't know your exact birth time, as long as you know where you were born in the day, you can find out some of your other placements. One of the free ones I use is Astrology Cafe. It's pretty good. So if you're interested, you can always check that out on your own. But yes, we had a little bit of a longer break than I guess that would be me and spirit, right? And spirits had a little bit of a longer break. So we're now finally getting to Gemini and Taurus, right? Save the best for last. Okay. So yeah, we're going to talk about the placements of the cards and kind of what weeks they correspond to, since we're covering about a 4-week time period. So like I said, after the live, I will put in a timestamp for whenever we start Taurus, if you want to skip ahead to that. And then what else was I going to mention? Yes, all the readings are also timeless. So that means they can resonate, before or after the original time frame, which is from June 21st through July 21st. All right. So always take it if it resonates for you. And also the other reason to check out your other placements in your birth chart is, depending on what's going on in your life, you may resonate more with your moon sign or your sun sign, your rising sign, okay, etc. And always check your Venus sign for matters of love for even more insight there, and where your Jupiter is for money and abundance and luck and all that good stuff. So anyway, let's go ahead and do a little quick sound bell here, and then we will get started with Gemini. All right, so just be aware it will be a little loud for just a few moments here if you're listening with headphones or something like that. But yeah, basically you can take a breath whenever it feels natural for you, or just listen and kind of get in the zone. It's for some generalized healing and grounding for myself and for you guys for the reading. All right. All right, guys. So I'll just put this over here and then we'll get started. Okay. All right. So like I was saying earlier, we're going to talk about a 4-week time period. And since this video is a little bit late, we'll go over the last 2.5 weeks or so, right? But like I said before, it is timeless. So for some people, it may resonate during that exact time frame, or it could be before or after. Okay, so time is relative and fluid, right? So it's always changing. And so we are here when we had a time to do it. So I'm happy to be here. All right. Anyway, so the first 4 cards here are going to correspond to those 4 weeks. And then we have a confirmation card over here. We also talk about what's in the top and the bottom of each deck. deck, right? Since we're using two different decks. And then at the very end, we have a little oracle card as well. Okay, so for the first week, this could be from around June 21st to June 27th as an example. Second week would be from around June 28th through July 4th or so. Third week could be from around July 5th, where we are now, kind of right to the 6th today, and through July 11th. And then the fourth week could be from around July 12th through July 21st or so, okay? So let's go ahead and call out your cards here, Gemini, and get started. You have the Strength card in the right side up position, the Five of Sacred Circles, also known as Five of Pentacles, right side up, the Ace of Staves, or also known as Ace of Wands, in the reverse position, and the Empress here. Okay, so I want to talk about the zodiac signs here real quickly that I do see in your reading, if that is something that you're interested in. And if not, I'll just talk about it briefly and then we'll get back to the reading. So we have Leo energy, we have Libra energy, we have Virgo energy, we have Scorpio, Taurus, Leo again, and Aquarius energy because of some of the other cards that are in the top and the bottom of the deck. I didn't call them out, but I will later when we get to it. So it could be you're dealing with a Leo, a Libra, a Virgo, a Scorpio, a Taurus, or an Aquarius. Or there could be something referencing that time frame, or you have a lot of those signs really strongly multiplied throughout your chart in various different placements. Or it could be the other person or multiple people, again, general environment situation. But I just wanted to mention it real quickly while I was thinking about it. All right, so let's go ahead here, Gemini, and talk about your first card, your first week. So that was right from around June 21st to June 27th. We have that Leo energy here, Gemini, with the Strength card in the right side of position. And when we talk about throughout your whole reading, but especially with the first card, this could be energy from the recent past, which could be a couple of days ago, months, weeks, years, etc. Okay, or it could be current energy too, right? But basically, this is a beautiful card in this position, right? Because it talks about not only physical strength, but we're talking about tarot, so more spiritual, energetic strength. Okay, and being confident, having the ability to manifest whatever it is that you or the other person or multiple people want to manifest in their life. Okay, because the Strength card has the symbol of infinity, which is also over the Magician card in the tarot, right? So hopefully when it focuses, you can see it in the cloud right above her head here. Okay, so that is having that timeless energy, knowing that things come in cycles, that energy can never be destroyed, it's only recycled. Okay, and then using that to your advantage or to their advantage to manifest whatever it is that they want in their life. Okay, it could of course be referencing an actual Leo sign or the upcoming Leo season that we have coming up. It could be lots of different things, right? But really, generally speaking, it is a very confident energy. It is for momentum and progress, right? So nothing bad here in this first card that we see here, Gemini, right? Air sign Gemini, the twins. Now, when we come to your second card and your second week here, sorry, let me turn this down. We said that could be around June 28th through July 4th, right? And we have the Five of Pentacles or Five of Sacred Circles in the right side up position. So this is an energy of somebody or someone or just an energy in itself, if it's not a particular person, of wanting to have deeper answers to deep questions, going inward to have some type of spiritual retreat, energetic rest in general, right? Sleep, right? It's also building abundance, right? Because it's Five Pentacles. It's not 10, but it's not 2 either. So it is a certain amount of wealth or abundance, again, whatever that you want to create in your life here. But the way that this card is shown in this deck is you see, hopefully you can see it. Let me come a little closer. You can see that there is this Native American hut here in the center, and they're off kind of from the village, from the rest of them. And there's two women. So one woman is opening the hut to let out another woman who is almost like a female shaman, and she's got a headdress on, right? So she is the spiritual leader of the village, and she is trying to hold space and make space for one person or multiple people, right? To again get those deep answers to deep questions, or just help with the deep rest that's needed before moving forward. Okay, so since this is Five of Pentacles or Five of Sacred Circles, obviously it comes before Six of Pentacles or Six of Sacred Circles. That is a very grateful energy. That is about paying it forward. Okay, that is about giving back of time and energy or money, etc. Right? So it's like, you can't do that. You can't give back to others in any way unless you're fully rested yourself, energetically, spiritually, physically, all those things. So it's really about getting that rest, okay? That's what I see here. Now, moving forward, I would say that the real only, gentle reminder, energetic blockage here, Gemini, could be in that third week, so kind of where we are at now. So depending on when you're watching, of course, but when I'm filming, so from around July 5th through July 11th, we have this Ace of Staves, also known as Ace of Wands, in the reverse position, okay? So this is a little bit of like false start energy or hesitant energy towards an ending and a new beginning. It could also be somebody or an energy, if it's not you yourself, Gemini, or the person or multiple people, not feeling as creative, not feeling as passionate, not feeling as abundant or supported as you normally would be here, okay, with that Ace of Staves or Ace of Wands in the reverse position. Okay, and like I said, it's there in that reverse position as a reminder. Sorry, the lighting here is, there we go. It's a little off, but that's all right. We got it. So it's a reminder here for us, okay, for someone here or an energy in general, to try to remind ourselves, how do we get back the passion, the creativity? How do we get back towards having an ending and a new beginning, or a fresh start energy around something that was already started before or still hasn't been finished, right? But just giving more enthusiasm in general. Okay, so let's kind of dig into why this card showed up possibly in this position here for you, Gemini. So we're going to talk about what's on the top and the bottom of your deck here in relation to that Ace of Wands in the reverse position. So when we talk about what's on the top and the bottom, this is energy from the past, whatever that means for you, right? A couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago, months, years, etc. But we have the Wheel of Fortune over here on the top of the deck in the reverse position, and then we also have the Eight of Wands or Eight of Staves in the reverse position on the bottom. Okay, so it looks like here in some way in the past, Gemini, that it wasn't the right time for something. It wasn't a particularly favorable time or complementary time for a communication to come in and be understood properly, okay? Because with the Eight of Staves or Eight of Wands in reverse, that normally would be a fast message coming in, right? These wands are flying at the birds really fast, and it could startle them. It's surprising news, whether it's good or bad. It's catching someone off guard, but it's reversed. And when you put it with that Wheel of Fortune in reverse, it's like, okay, maybe that communication wasn't supposed to be understood or given at that time before, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's still that way. But perhaps when we go back to why we're talking about these two cards with the Ace of Staves in reverse position, it could be because there wasn't enough passion, creativity, enthusiasm. It again wasn't quite the right time for this ending and new beginning to come in, or that fresh start energy around something that's already begun or in the process of ongoing, right? Because everything is kind of in that hold off period. It's not quite time yet, okay? And when we talk about wands, right, we're talking about fire energy. We're also talking about wands can be, for some, not everybody, our defenses, right? So are my defenses too high? Are they too low? Am I being too defensive? Am I not being defensive enough? But also when we talk about our defenses, Our immune system is a defense system in our body. So for some, it could be health related here at Gemini, with that Ace of Staves in the reverse position here in the middle of this time period that we're talking about right this week. So July 5th through July 11th. Okay. But it doesn't have to be health related. But what's health, right? It could be mental health, it could be physical health, it could be spiritual, energetic health, it could be all those things. Or maybe it's the health of another person that you're dealing with, or someone, friends, family, romantic partner, etc. Okay, or it could be a health of a work environment. It could be lots of different things. Okay, but it's just kind of bringing up that energetic, gentle reminder of like, okay, how do we get these things back on track here? But as a little foreshadowing, you do, or they do, or everyone does, right? Or the energy does here, Gemini, because when we get to your fourth card and that fourth week, okay, so next week coming up, we have the Empress in the right side up position. Is that again some of that Libra energy? Okay, and that could be from, what did I say? July 12th through July 21st is just an example. Nothing set in stone. Okay, but this you can see in just these two cards. All right, to go from this to this, okay, is definitely an improvement and beautiful to see. Now, when we talk about the Empress card, right, she is the businesswoman of the tarot world, right? She's the CEO, she's the boss lady, okay? She's very feminine energy, doesn't necessarily have to be a woman because we all have masculine and feminine inside of us. It's just how the metaphor is showing up in this card is actually a woman who's pregnant and she's sitting on a throne. So she could be pregnant with ideas, pregnant with a creative project, pregnant with starting a new business, moving into a new house, lots of different new things, okay? But the seeds were already planted before. And if we also look here, Gemini, from your first card to your last card in that first four, you go from the Strength card as your first to the Empress as your last card, okay? So it's like, yes, somebody had the strength before, okay, whatever that means for you, to start planting those seeds. So she's still pregnant. She hasn't given birth yet, but she's preparing, right? And the water in the background, that waterfall here, is she's using her emotions in a positive way to be a leader, to be in a position of authority or power, to delegate tasks to others. So she can't do everything, right? But she has a lot of support around her to accomplish whatever it is that she wants to accomplish, okay? So let's kind of dig into here possibly why this is showing up now, Gemini. So we'll go back to and talk about what's on the top and the bottom of your other deck here. All right, and so this is again past energy in relation to the Empress. All right, so what we have is the Eight of Wands in the right side up position on the top and the Two of Wands in the right side up position on the bottom. And this is past energy. It could be a couple days ago, weeks, months, years, etc. Okay, but it looks like when I was talking about before here, just as 1 second, we said the wands, the staves, and the tarot represent our defenses. Are my defenses too high? Are they too low? It looks like here in the past, Gemini, okay, with the Eight of Wands right side up over here, the defenses were too high, whether it was you or someone you're dealing with or someone around you in your environment or just an energy in general. Somebody was way too defensive. They were operating from a flight or fight mode, survival mode. They were thinking they were always going to be attacked in some way. And they were also showing their vulnerability by thinking that they're always going to be attacked in some way. Okay. But this is past. Okay. Now, when you put it together with that Two of Wands right side up, and again, we're talking about it with the Empress, it seems like this was a catalyst in the background here in the past, Gemini, to then lead to the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is very similar energy to, let's say, the Hermit card or the High Priestess. It's about going inward within to find some answers, but it's not necessarily just about intuition. intuition. It's about people watching. It's about asking for advice, doing research. Okay, so it's not a fast energy card like, let's say, like the Empress, right? The Empress is like, let's go, progress, get it done, delegate tasks. I'm the boss woman. I'm the CEO. All that stuff. Okay, here this card, the Two of Wands, is more slow down energy of like, okay, what are my steps, the next steps that I need to take before I make a big decision, or the big step, or the next, whatever it is. Okay, so again, it's just kind of slowing down there to process the information, to see how others may have done something similar in a similar situation, to do the research, the people watching, and of course, get in touch with your intuition, right? You're watching tarot, so there you go. But this is, oops, it's supposed to be this way. This is what supported the energy in the present current situation, circumstances, possibilities, your fourth card, your fourth week, to show up as the Empress, right? She couldn't be the Empress unless she let some of her defenses down, unless she said, okay, I can't always operate like someone's always going to attack me. I have to pick and choose my battles, that kind of thing. But also I have to use my intuition. I have to do my research to be the businesswoman, the CEO. I have to also not take on all the things by myself and delegate tasks and that kind of thing. All right, so this is kind of just showing us how this Empress energy, was made possible here, okay, or is, since it's coming up. Could be, right? Or it could be in the past, right? Time is fluid and relative. So now, before we go forward here, I want to kind of briefly talk about, let's move this over here because we're running out of space. We're going to talk about your confirmation card, okay, from your other deck here. And this is the Tarot Mucha deck that I use, the bigger yellow kind of cards here. But anyway. We do have that Virgo energy showed up as the official Hermit card. So this one confirmation card is confirming kind of all four cards here, all 4 weeks that we're talking about, okay? And look at it together. Excuse me. Hopefully the glare there. All right, so remember how I said the Hermit card is very similar energy to the Two of Wands, and then it was there, right? I would have said that even if it hadn't showed up in your reading, okay? So the Hermit card is about going within, okay? We see this woman kind of crouched over, and she's hugging this light, and it's wintertime, and she's all by herself in the forest. So it's about trusting your intuition, or they're trusting their intuition, or multiple people, general environment situation, but it's also about quieting the outside noise so you can hear your inner guidance system, or they can, or everyone, right, etc. Because it's like, if you hear blah, 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 all the shit every time, all the time, right, TV, noise pollution, right, whatever it is, energetic pollution too, then you can't hear yourself as clearly. So it's about separating from the crowd, whether it's physically or just spiritually or just energetically or just some type of meditation where you don't hear the TV or the music in the background or the people next door, the kids outside, so you can, right, hear your own messages, your own light. Because a lot of times when we have questions, we most of the time already know the answers ourselves, but we don't necessarily trust our intuition right off the bat, or we want confirmation from someone else first or after, before or during, right? Whatever it is. So it's just really about quieting all those things so you can hear your own answers and trust your reactions to things, trust your gut reaction. So how did I feel the first time I met them, or the first time I was at this place, or blah, 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 blah. Trust that, okay? Because it's never going to lie to you, okay? And always trust your intuition more than anybody else, okay? Everybody's going to have an opinion, and it's great and cool to listen to those opinions because it makes you a better person, and you can take all the things into account. But at the beginning and the end of the day, always trust your intuition first. All right. So with all that being said, Gemini, let's get to your little animal card here too. So you got the heron bird for this time period or even beyond. And this is a series of cards. They're not really oracle cards, but that's kind of how I'm reading it. But this is Susan Eleanor Bollett is the artist, and she does a lot of kind of like Native American surrealist type art, and there's usually a couple animals hidden throughout. I don't want to get too close because sometimes it gets out of focus. Okay, but there has to be, oh, here it is. I see it now. I'm like trying to look at it through my screen. There's two heron birds here on the side, if you guys can see them. So anyway, I'm just going to read it a little bit on the back of the card here for you. So the symbology of the heron bird represents feminine energy, life, and renewal. Okay, we talk about feminine energy with the Empress here. All right, okay. And it says the heron is a bird of the water and is thus associated with feminine energy and regeneration. In ancient Egypt, the heron was the first transformer of the human soul after death because it was seen in flight over the fields when the Nile River began to flood. It has been associated with fertility and the renewal of life. In the Roman epic, the Aeneid, the heron is again a symbol of renewal and is depicted rising from the ashes of the burned city of Andromeda. All right. So you can always look up more. That's just a little quick thing here, but you can look up the animal spiritual symbolism of a heron bird. If that was one of your particular animal spirits, it'll give you even more insight and probably a lot more information about what that bird represents in different cultures, since this was just a little bit on the back of the card here. All right, but that is your message here, dear Gemini. So hopefully you got something from it, and always feel free to let me know in the comments down below or even privately if you want, if it resonated with you. But yeah, let's go ahead and shuffle the cards and get into Taurus here. And then I'll set my little timer here too, and I'll put the timestamps in like after after the fact. And we'll do another sound bell just to clear the energy from Gemini as we move on to Taurus. All right. And then I always like to put the crystals on here for a little bit, even if it's temporarily, to also help clear the energy. So I'm kind of gonna go over a little bit of this feel that I said in the beginning for Gemini, in case people later just come into the Taurus part of the reading. But yes, everyone is welcome. All are welcome. Cross watchers, right? You don't have just to be a sun sign Taurus. You can be a Taurus rising, have your moon in Taurus, or not know where Taurus is in your chart, but it's there somewhere. So everybody's welcome. And what else was I going to say? Yes, these are all general readings, right? So it can cover anything like love, work, friends, family, health, money, all forms of abundance, etc. All the readings are timeless, so it may resonate before or after the original time frame from June 21st through July 21st. I think that's all I can remember right now, but let's go ahead and do the little sound bell and see what else comes out as I shuffle for you guys. Okay, so just be aware it does get loud just for a little bit, but feel free to take a deep breath whenever, or just listen to. And we will ground ourselves and let go of the Gemini energy and welcome in the Taurus energy. All right. That was good. It was a little louder than the other one, but they're all good, right? Okay, so yes, let's do our shuffling. And anything else I need to mention, I'll do that now. So yes, we're doing Earth sign Taurus, the bull. I was about to say ram, that's Aries. Earth sign Taurus, the bull. Messages for Taurus for June 21st through July 21st, Taurus. Messages for Taurus, Earth sign Taurus, the bull. What are the messages for Taurus? No. Messages, spirits guide my hands. Messages for Taurus, Earth sign Taurus, the bull. June 21st and July 21st, Taurus. Messages for Taurus, Earth sign Taurus, the bull. For June 21st, July 21st, Taurus. Okay, we'll do some more just some checks for a minute. Trying to think if there was anything else I forgot earlier. Oh, yes. And oh no, I did take it. I was about to be like, oh no. I did take a picture of Gemini's cards before I turned on the camera. So if you want to see a picture of Gemini's cards or even Taurus once we get them out, all you have to do is click in the description box below after the live and follow the little instructions to get to my Facebook page. And then you can see a picture if you want to see it more up close in detail, all of them together, because obviously I hold them up to the screen and stuff, but sometimes, I don't know, I just like been doing that forever and like to provide it to the people if they want. So anyway, messages for Taurus, Earth sign Taurus, people for June 21st through July 21st, Taurus. Okay, I'll put this here for a minute. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for Taurus. Earth sign Taurus, the bull for June 21st through July 21st, Taurus. What happens to my music? Okay. Messages, spirits, guide my hands. Messages for Taurus, Earth sign Taurus, the bull. What do they need to see? What do they need to know for the highest good? Messages for Taurus, Earth sign Taurus, the bull. For June 21st and July 21st, Taurus. Okay, and so let's go back to, I'll do this one actually first. Okay, so I'm gonna make my little fish pond and get into the energy, and let's pull some cards here. All right. Messages from Spirit. Spirits guide my hands. Messages for Earth sign Taurus, the bull. For June 21st through July 21st. What do they need to see? What do they need to know for their highest vibration? Messages for Taurus. Messages for Taurus. Earth sign Taurus, the bull. For June 21st through July 21st. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Messages for Taurus, Earth sign Taurus, the bull. For June 21st through July 21st. What do they need to see? Messages for Earth sign Taurus, the bull. For June 21st through July 21st. Spirits guide my hands. Messages for Taurus. Okay, so we have, excuse me, my nose itchy. We have our 4 cards. We'll confirm which direction Spirit wants them. But let's go ahead and take the top and the bottom. Whatever, just deal with that later. Okay. So let's put these over here for a second and see what spirit wants. Okay. Okay. The 10 of Cups in the first position to represent the tarot card. Okay, so we want that up and spirit. Okay. Okay. Ah, no, sorry guys. I don't have a tissue, but that's okay. All right. Okay. So we'll leave all that there. I'm just gonna move it up. And let's go ahead and keep pulling from the other decks. Spirits, guide my hands, messages for Earth sign Taurus, the bull, for their highest vibration. One card, please, for June 21st through July 21st. Messages for Earth sign Taurus, the bull. Oh. All right. It was weird. I felt like they wanted kind of two cards, but we'll just keep it one because everyone else had one. So anyway, and we're always trying to stick to time. Okay. I was like, which card do I pick? That's why I was like, oh. Okay. Anyway. All right. Messages for Earth sign Taurus, the bull, for their own highest vibration. Spirits, guide me. Messages for Taurus. Messages for Taurus. Taurus, the bull, for June 21st through July 21st. Messages for Taurus. Please one card. Okay. And then we're going to take what's on the top and the bottom. All right. Let me just confirm. Oops. The top of this deck. Okay. 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 Sorry. Okay. So we pretty much got all the cards. We just want to figure out the final placements, and I will take the picture so I don't forget. And then we'll get started. Okay. So I'm not sure exactly. I think this is probably where Spirit wants me to talk about these things, but let me just confirm 1 second. All right, so Taurus. Let's take your little picture real quick and get started. Okay. Half the time when I take a picture, you guys, the cards be looking crooked to me. So I'm like, okay, am I straight? Okay. Okay. All right, good enough for me. Let's now go ahead and officially start the reading. Okay, so, oh, let's not do that. Okay. All right, Taurus. You're like, get it together. I'm trying. Okay. So, Taurus, we're going to talk about what each card placement means for the 4 weeks time period that we're roughly talking about. And then, yeah, we'll get into it. So, hopefully, you can see everything for the most part, at least where it's at. So, we're talking about from around June 21st through July 21st, essentially, right? So 4 weeks, 4 cards up on the top here. Then we have your confirmation card. We talk about what's on the top and the bottom, and then your little animal oracle-like card here as well. All right, so the first week could be energy from around June 21st through June 27th. Second card, second week, June 28th through July 4th. Third card, third week, July 5th through July 11th, where we are kind of right now when I'm filming. And then your fourth card, fourth week, could be from around July 12th through July 21st, but it's not exact, right? They're just kind of examples here, okay? So let's call out your cards and then see what other zodiac signs that could be already showing up here in your reading. All right, so we have Pisces. We really only have one major arcana here, and that's not a good or bad thing, right? It could represent a certain amount of change coming up. So usually the more major arcanas you have, the more change you could be having, but it's relative, right? And then you have, let's see, as far as the minor arcana, you have 1, 2, 3. You have 3 swords. You have 2 pentacles, 2 wands, and 1 cup. Right? So 3 swords, 2 wands, 2 pentacles, 1 cup. All right, so what does that mean? There could be an extra underlying theme to your reading, right? Since the majority of the minor arcana here are the swords are very similar to the wands in the fact that they can both be either a tool or a weapon, okay? But the swords is air energy, so that would be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, okay? We had to call out the air signs. All right, so but basically when we're talking about the swords, it is our intellectual mind, our logical mind, our crown chakra, okay? So it depends on whether they're right side up or reversed, what have you. But it's just kind of like another underlining theme here. It feels like a little too loud, so just turn it down. This comes up here. So since I said as far as the major arcanas, you really only have one, so that's Pisces energy. So what does that mean? It means, Taurus, you could be dealing with the Pisces, right? You could have a lot of Pisces in your chart, or the other person, or multiple people could, or it could be referencing a past Pisces season, right? So last time we're in Pisces season, it could be referencing even future Pisces season. It could be lots of different things. It could be having something to do with the collective unconscious, the astrology. Speaking of astrology, real quickly, let me glance because I can't remember if there were any astrology notes that, particularly talk about Pisces energy or 12th house energy. Well, we already did have, right? We're still in it because I believe it goes till December, but we have Neptune is started retrograde on June 28th. Okay, so Neptune is one of the rulers of Pisces. What else do we have? I think that's pretty much it as far as the astrology. So again, it could mean something to you and it doesn't have to necessarily, but Spirit wanted to mention the zodiac sign. So anyway, let's go ahead and call out your cards here and see what else we have. So we have the Prince of Swords in the right side up position here. We have the Five of Staves, also known as Five of Wands, right side up. We have the Ten of Cups right side up, and we have the Ten of Sacred Circles right side up. And then we'll talk about the other ones a little bit later as we go throughout the reading here. Yeah, we start with your first card here, Taurus, and throughout your whole reading, but also in even more particularity in your first card, we're talking about, it could be talking about recent past energy or person, right? That could be what we're still picking up as I shuffle, okay? So the recent past, it will be different for everybody. It could be a couple of days ago, weeks, months, years, etc. But what we have is a really nice energy. However, it may resonate for you, but we have the Prince of Swords in the right side up position, okay? So this is an energy of mental clarity, right? He's using his sword here possibly as a weapon because he's dressed like a Japanese samurai guy, right? But he could also use that sword to cut back the leaves that would be in his path, okay? But here we're talking about mental health, mental clarity, being really sharp and focused. We're also talking about a prince or a knight, right? In tarot, could be a medium-sized communication or offer coming in or already came in, either you to someone else or someone else to you, or just came in general from the universe, okay? But as you notice here too in the card, that there's water behind it. So the water in the tarot represents our emotions. So he's using his emotions. He knows they are there, right? But he's using it, his heart chakra, his emotions, in conjunction with his logical mind, his crown chakra, his sword, okay? So this is really nice energy here, Taurus. Again, whether it's you yourself or someone around you that you're dealing with, or your general environment here, okay? And that we said could be from around June 21st through June 27th, okay? So yeah, it could be lots of different things, but it's also the other thing I want to mention with the Prince of Swords here, or Knight of Swords, right? It would also be called in other decks, that it is an energy of being open to learning something new and wanting to eventually level up in some area of your life or their life, right? So when I said medium-sized, I'm sorry, keep hitting the table, medium-sized communication or offer, it would be, if you, as an example, if you've seen me before, you know, right? So entry level would be a small position, and then a manager would be, let's say, the medium-sized position, okay? Just as an example, all right? But you also see here that this guy in particular in this deck, right, he's got his eyes closed. He's kind of in this meditative state, if you can see it. And he is, again, using his emotions to make sense of them in a logical standpoint, but he's not discounting them, right? He knows the value of his emotions, his intuition, and he's open to learning new things because he's not set in his ways. He's not a king or a queen or of a certain age, right? Or whatever you want to say. So he's still like, okay, I'm learning all these new things and I want to keep learning new things and I want to have my path open. So it also is about abundance, forward momentum, and progress here, okay? All right, now moving forward, Taurus. Your second card, your second week, right, which could be from around June 28th through July 4th. We have the Five of Staves, also known as Five of Wands, in the right side up position, okay? So this one is not even an energetic blockage or gentle reminder, but it's really only a card here that I could say, right, has a little bit of a deeper level to it, or just like a little bit of advice, okay? Because your other cards are really positive. So is your first one we just talked about, right? So this is kind of the only really place here that Spirit wanted me to talk about what was going on here, all right? So when that Five of Stave or Five of Wands shows up in the right side up position, we see these four Egyptian like architect guys, okay? And they're planning, all right, where are we gonna put our next pyramid, our next structure, building, whatever you want to call it, okay? So they are having the map laid out before them on the ground. They have a pencil, eraser, something like that. So they have this openness to change plans. So when this card shows up, or this energy shows up, or this person shows up here, Taurus, it's about, okay, stop everything. You're taking something too seriously, or another person is taking something way too seriously, or an energy or environment, job, whatever, okay, household is taking something too seriously. Because when this card comes in particular, it's saying, let's plan and practice and be organized, but let's leave room for revisions. Let's leave room to erase things and redraw them, right? And it kind of goes in harmony with your first card too, right? Of that prince or that knight of being not set in their ways, not being completely stubborn, but being open to being like, okay, let's have a plan A for sure, B, C, D, F, G, etc. Okay, but it's also about using your support system here. Okay, Taurus, whatever that may be, if it's for you, yourself, another person, general environment, right? But it's friends, family, mental health care worker, romantic partner, whatever it is for you or them. It's like, okay, let me use those assets. Let me not be scared to be like, hey guys, do you have any advice for me? Should I have some backup plans, right? That kind of thing. So this is where Spirit wants me to talk to you about what's on the top and the bottom of each deck, along with your second card, the Five of Wands or Five of Staves in the right side up position. So let's talk about the first one. And this is, again, anytime we talk about the top and the bottom, energy from the past. It could be recent past or way further back than that. It will be different for everybody, okay? But let me just hold them all up here. So this time we have the Ace of Staves in the right side up position on the top of your deck. And then you have the Four of Pentacles, excuse me, or Four of Sacred Circles in the reverse position on the bottom of your deck. Excuse me. And we're talking about this in relation to the Five of Wands or Five of Staves right side up, okay? So it looks like here, Taurus, that in the past in some way, there was a lot of fire sign energy or fire energy in general, right? So this would represent Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, if we had to put it in exact zodiac signs, right? But it's also just about, when you think of fire, you think of passion, warmth, creativity. Fire can be a tool or a weapon, just like the sword, right? The duality there. And this in particular, when we talk about aces, are endings and new beginnings, fresh start energy. So it looks like in the past here, Taurus, in some way, there were all those positive things going on, fresh start energy. But then, well, not but then, let me rephrase it. On the other side, okay, or going along with it, right along with it, is that Four of Pentacles or Four of Sacred Circles in reverse. That's how you want to see that card always, okay? That's how you want to see it, okay? When it's right side up, it's an energy or a person or place of fear and operating from a place of lack, okay? Because he only has Four Pentacles. And so in other decks, when you see him, he's got one under each foot. He's hugging one over here. He's got one on his head. He's like, there's never enough money. There's never enough. There's never enough. So that's the operating from fear or lack of, okay? So in this deck, the way that it's shown is you see this Native American man. He's smoking the peace pipe. He's trying to communicate. It's in some way of like, how do I let these things go? How can I not be fearful? How can I trust that there will always be more money and abundance, right? Love, health, all those things. So when you see it in reverse, which is how it came out here for you, Taurus, in the past, it means that somebody was able to forgot how to say it. Somebody was able to overcome those obstacles in the past, okay? Or the place or the person or the energy or multiple people or you yourself, whatever it may be, okay? And because they were able to overcome operating from a place of fear or lack and embrace these ending, new beginning, fresh start energy, it possibly made them or you yourself, your Taurus, more open to using the support system and also more open to having those backup plans, having the revision, the revisement that's needed, right? All right, let's keep going forward here though. So then, on the other hand, with the other deck here, again, past information, we have the Six of Swords in the right side up position, the Nine of Swords in reverse. Okay, and again, we're talking about it with that Five of Wands or Five of Spades. But just for a second, look at this, okay, because they're very similar and they're all past energy, right? So here, that Six of Swords, okay, there's movement there, but not a lot. There's a little bit of energy of not trusting people, one person, not trusting the environment, not trusting, hey, where is this guy rowing the boat to? Okay, the swords are going down. So that represents the anxiety, worry, overthinking, okay, of like, can I trust this person? Can I trust the movement of where the boat is going? So that was past energy, okay, but it was a catalyst and then led to, hold on, let me show it this way and turn that down. Both these cards are very similar in the way that that's how you want to see those cards. You want to see the Nine of Swords in reverse because when it's right side up, it's anxiety, worry, overthinking, depression, low vibrational frequencies, physical, mental exhaustion, right? All these swords are hanging over this girl's head. Okay, you don't want that. Nobody wants that. We all have it at some point, but we don't want it. So it came out reverse. That's how you want it. So someone has overcome that. They've let those things go, just like the Four of Pentacles or Four of Sacred Circles. They let go of the fear, the lack mentality, the overthinking, the worry. Okay, so in just those two things, those two cards from different decks, they're not the same cards, but they're very similar energy from the past here, Taurus. So again, it looks like you were able to let those things go, or another person or multiple people, general environment situation, which then led to, again, being more open to the support system, relying on them, and having those backup plans. All right, now let's get to the really yummy, good stuff here too, Taurus. Your next two cards, your next 2 weeks that we were talking about are very delicious, and I hope they are. Okay, because you have two tens and they're both right side up, just as like a little foreshadowing, right? So we'll talk about the first one here is the Ten of Cups in the right side up position, and that could be around the week that we're in now, so from around July 5th through July 11th or so. Right? But look at that. Okay, beautiful. 10 in the tarot is a completion number. So again, talking about endings and new beginnings right around the corner, but it is more emotionally fulfilling. The cups in the tarot, like the water, represent our emotions. So there could be some type of ending and new beginning that is more emotionally satisfactory for you or for someone around you or general environment situation. But there again is support and celebrations, right? So all these people are about to cross the little moat bridge here to go have a party at the castle, okay? And everybody's dressed up and everybody's cheersing. And so it is a very abundant energy for momentum, progress, support, but emotionally satisfied in some way. So that's beautiful, right? I mean, who wouldn't want that? Okay, but I see in particular here for you, Taurus, because even though you only had one, and we still haven't talked about it yet, one major arcana, you have two tens right next to each other, and they're both right side up. So that's like two endings and new beginnings back to back. But that's also, if it's not one of those things, it's like a leveling up in some area of your life or multiple areas of your life. Okay, so as an example, romantic, right? You could have been dating someone, now you're moving in together. Or you could have been you're already living together, now you're getting married. Or now you're having kids. Or whatever it is, right? Because everybody's different. If it's a job, right? Again, it could be now you're going to be the manager, or you're going from manager to now you get partner, or you're the CEO, you get stock options, what have you. Whatever it is, it's like the next step, and it's a big step. It's like a big step, okay? Really big steps together because they both come together, all right? So just look at both those tens here for a second, Taurus. It's so beautiful. All right, so one, the Ten of Cups we already talked about, the emotionally satisfied, ending a new beginning, leveling up in some way, supported energy. Now, when we get to the fourth week, next week that we're talking about, so it could be from around July 12th through July 21st. So the rest of, well, when is exactly, hold on, when is July 12th? Pull up my calendar. Today's 6. So like next Tuesday through the next following Thursday, something like that. It's like, I think it's a 10-day time. So it's a little bit more than a week. It's an extra 3 days, whatever. It's not exact, okay? Whatever it is, though. Look how beautiful that is, Taurus, all right? So that is supportive energy. So if you compare it to, oh, that was not you, that was Gemini I was thinking of. Sometimes when you see these Native American Sacred Circles cards, all the huts are together like this, but sometimes they're spread out. So here they're all together. That's community, that's supportive energy, right? And this could be happening in particular, or it could be referencing a past full moon. We have a full moon here. The full moon in July is on the 13th, and this time period is a little bit after that, but it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly on the full moon, right? Because the full moon, just like the 10, is a combination energy. When the full moon is full, it can't get any fuller, right? So it is the biggest it can get. It's the strongest. It's the most intense. It's the height of its power, okay? And again, we're referencing also Pisces energy that you have in your other card that we'll talk about after this for some, right? Not necessarily everybody. But it is this really nice energy of coming together, being abundant, okay? Having all the resources that you need or they need. It is, again, just about celebrations. It's about coming together. It's about parties. It's about new beginnings. It's about leveling up in some way. And when we talk about the pentacles, is okay, they're coins, right? They're money, but it is whatever you want to manifest in your life. Abundance isn't just money, right? Yes, money is important and we need it, of course, but it's all your end goal or their end goal or everyone's end goal, what have you, okay? But this is really beautiful here, Taurus. I love to see it. So let's talk about your confirmation card here as well. Now we have the Hanged Man in the right side up position as your confirmation card. And this one card is confirming all 4 cards here, all 4 weeks that we kind of have been talking about, all right? And that's Pisces energy again. So here, this is really going really nicely with the first card that came out in your reading, and that was, right, the Prince of Swords or Knight of Swords in the right side up position, because they're both wanting to look at something from a different perspective. They're both open to learning, right? They're both open to having this revision, having separate additional options for things, right? The only thing I would say with this Hanged Man card and the Pisces energy too, especially because we have the Neptune retrograde going on right till the end of the year, I believe, is that that Pisces Neptunian energy, even though it's going backwards, it isn't a bad thing, right? Not all retrogrades are bad, but basically it's about, again, going over something that maybe wasn't properly finished, okay, previously. If you look at, let's say, the Neptune retrograde time frame of last year, if you want to, maybe a clue there. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but it's like, what does Pisces Neptunian moon energy need? It needs grounding, right? So this guy's upside down. If he stays like that forever, he's going to lose all the blood to his head, right? Or it's, no, all the blood's going to go to his head, and he needs it in other areas of his body too. So eventually he needs to ground himself and stand up. So what does that grounding mean, right? We're different for everybody, but basically getting back into your body. So when you're talking about Neptunian energy, you could be talking about more heart chakra energy, but also head, crown chakra energy. So then coming back into your own body. So doing something that reminds you of that, okay? Also, grounding and calming your emotions. You're Taurus, right? Depending on where Taurus is in your chart, even if you're not a sun sign Taurus, rising sign, or moon Taurus, right? You want to get into the earth sign Taurus energy of grounding yourself, so then you can eventually come back up for air. You can take a relaxing walk in nature, right? You can meditate for 15-20 minutes, take a bath, read a book, watch a comedy, talk to your best friend, whatever it is that brings you back into your body. So you just kind of, the right way is, or not the right way, because there's no right way, but the right word I'm trying to find, or the right way to communicate it, is almost like all these changes that could be coming up or already have started or taken place here, Taurus, to integrate them and understand them on even a deeper level, would be the benefit of just making sure you ground a little bit here. Okay. All right. So with all that being said, that is your tarot here for this time, Taurus. But real quickly before you go, let's talk about your little animal card. So you got the hawk this time. For it could be for just this time period or even beyond, right? But this is Susan Eleanor Bollett is the artist, and she has done this series of artworks that has a lot of Native American themes in it, and it's very surrealist, and there's usually multiple animals within one image. So obviously we see the hawk, but I'm trying to see if there's any other animals in this one. Not so much in this one, but we do see hidden images within each one. So there's like the sun, the moon down here. It looks like it could be some tall grass, some leaves, some trees. There's the ocean. You know, there's definitely a lot of nature symbols, okay? So anyway, what does the hawk represent? I'm going to read real quickly what it has on the back of the card here. Okay, so it talks about some of the symbols and meanings behind it is vision, rebirth, spirituality, and healing. And it says there are many species of hawk, each with its own legend and associated folklore. The birds have symbolized healing, freedom, vision, and rebirth. In Egyptian mythology, Isis, the goddess of abundance and fertility, assumes the shape of a hawk as she gives birth to her son Horus, right, who then dies and is reborn. She also becomes a hawk to join her husband Osiris in the underworld. Native Americans associated the hawk with potent magic, and they use its feathers in healing rituals and in ceremonies to bring the rain. Okay. So usually when I see anything that is a bird, right, even in lots of the tarot images, you'll see birds in the background when it's telling you you need to see something from a higher perspective, a different perspective, right? It goes with the Hanged Man of being able to see all the pieces to the puzzle, everyone's point of view, and then kind of digesting all of that and bringing it together. All right, so that's really beautiful. Of course, you can look up the hawk and get even more insight of like shamanic power animal of the hawk, or if my power animal, one of my power animals is the hawk, what other meanings can I can find in it, bring to it, what other cultures say about the hawk, that kind of thing. So there's always, of course, lots of things to learn on the internet there. But that is your reading here, dear Taurus, and I hope you found something from it. Always feel free to let me know in the comments down below if this resonated for you or how it came to be for you. If you want to, but no pressure. And yes, I already took the picture, that's right. So I will be posting the picture shortly. If you want to see it again more up close, all in detail, all you have to do is click in the description box below and follow the instructions there. It's just me on my Facebook page. But what else? Yes. If you want to like the video, not only does it tell me that you enjoy the content, right, but it also shares it freely with others on YouTube's little algorithm things that they do. So it's a great way to support the channel. And another free way to support the channel is if you like this video to subscribe. It's free, right? So all you do, I think it's over here. So it's my left, your right. The little bell icon, you just click it and make sure it's active and you have your free YouTube account. So it'll just tell you when I put out new videos. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys so much and enjoy this time period and take care. And I'm hoping, I'm really fingers crossed that this weekend I can maybe finally do some free tarot readings for people in the chat here, maybe on Saturday or Sunday. So I will let you guys know, and you'll see me if it happens. I'm hoping it will. So anyway, you guys take care, and I'll see you later. All right, bye.